the sort of final section of what we've sort of built out for this event. We've talked about entering the marketplace, the research and planning that you need to do. We've kind of gone into marketing your company, team building, both internal, external, and then the proposal writing. We haven't talked about risk, which is something I know that that I've talked with on past events. But now what? Right. So you've submitted. You've done all these things. You've got your proposal in. Assuming you've done all the right things and you've hired the right people to come in and help you do this. What do you do now? You're kind of sitting on the sideline. You're waiting.
Start the process over.
That's it.
Go right back at it again.
Don't stop selling.
Exactly.
Keep moving.
Mm-hmm. And one of the main reasons why, and it goes back to this relationship issue, we're tracking over 40% turnover every year in personnel at the government agencies. So there's a 40% chance that the people that were there last year are not there this year.
Last week.
Right. So that's why you have to rinse and repeat over and over again.
Absolutely.
It will keep you front and center.
And just submitting the proposal is not the end game. There's a whole closing process that follows submission. Everything from negotiating prices with subcontractors to get a lower price point, going to orals, going to discussions, multiple revisions to your proposal, questions, answers, and it's a long journey. And those people that you wrote to so skillfully when you drafted that proposal can be long gone by the time the evaluation comes around.
Yeah, I mean, if everyone was paying attention when STARS 2 got awarded, or actually awarded, then brought back, and then awarded again, I mean, Bob just hit on it. I mean, these companies got an early indication that they were successful on getting STARS 2. Then GSA yanked it back in and said, wait, sharpen your pencil. Let's do this again. And so, yeah, you're not done till you're done. And even then, you're not done. So,
you talking about the contract where there were only 599 winners?
Yeah, me and 599, my closest friends, absolutely. And we talk about, the Pareto principle. I mean, everyone used to talk about the 80-20 rule, and I think we all revised that to be the 95-5 rule now, because 5% of the companies are going to have 95% of the business on that contract. I mean, there are, let's say, about 35 companies out of that are actually going to have meaningful business. Maybe.
And it's still not over after you've won or lost, because if you lose or if you win, the government should give you a debrief consistent with the requirements of the Federal Acquisition Reg and tell you what you did well and what you didn't do well.
Right.
And take that information back, get in a huddle with your internal team, and go all the way back to the business development, to the market research part of it, and walk that through the entire life cycle and ask yourselves the question, what did we do well? What could we have done better? And learn from that experience, because the next one will be right on the heels of this one.
Yep. And do that whether you win or you lose.
Absolutely.
And companies want to do it when they lose. When they win, they think they know why they won. It's just as important to know why you won and to keep a track record of it. So you can look at trends over a year, trends over a couple of years.
Right.
That's how the biggies do it, and they know exactly. Then they have a repository they develop of what wins, what loses.
Yeah, there was a question written in about process. This entire endeavor is a process, and you can define the process, you make it repeatable so that you can manage multiple deals through it, you manage to that process, and you collect data. And with data, you can begin optimizing the process. The larger companies have perfected this. They do it extraordinarily well, and they have a very efficient, effective process for winning. That's why they sit at the top of the pyramid.
Yes.
Those companies who are coming into the market need to be mindful of it. Those companies that are hitting mid-stride and getting out of small business, it is time to double down and invest in this area, because this will be your greatest differentiator in your ability to win going forward. You have to perfect that process and make it an economic engine within your company to produce revenue.
So let's move to just sort of general Q&A and kind of have a more free-flowing discussion. I know we're kind of right at 3:30, but if you guys have a couple of minutes to hang over, we can just do this section. And I know Jim McCarthy had to step out, so we appreciate his time, and thank you for him participating. But so I'm just going to kind of start opening it up to some of the questions that we've been pulling in. And I'll throw this first one out to you, Mark, because you're more of the social media guy. We talked about LinkedIn, but someone actually wants to know about Facebook presence as far as dealing with the government. I've never really been as high on Facebook as far as government interaction, but you tell us, and I'm curious what other people's experience has been as far as dealing with the government from a contractor perspective.
There are a lot of companies and a lot of govies on Facebook, but we've seen the migration for proactive use of social media shift largely to LinkedIn. That is the simple answer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm connected to, on Facebook, a number of folks that are, in the federal space, different levels within government agencies. Quite honestly, I mean, Facebook, even though we have a company page on Facebook, and then I've got my personal profile on there, it really is more personal than anything else on Facebook. I mean, the folks that I'm connected to, it's more about, hey, how's the kids doing, and that type of thing. I'm not using that to really try to develop business or help people develop business in that framework. LinkedIn, Twitter, those are the ones where it's a business setting. People know it's all about business there.
There's also the controversy issue that perpetually surrounds Facebook, and the more controversy there is, the less likely the government will rely on it at all.
Right.
So we all should keep an eye on Google Plus, because it might become a professional Facebook, maybe.
Wait to see what's going to happen.
It's trying to emulate LinkedIn right now, but it's starting late in the game.
Yeah, but no, I've stuck something out there just to kind of keep tabs on what's going on out there, and I see it's a real slow roll getting going right now, and yeah, it could very well turn into something like that, but it remains to be seen. I mean, I'm like Mark, I'm pretty partial to LinkedIn for, I'll connect pretty much with anyone who's not Carlos the International Terrorist on LinkedIn. And then on Twitter, it's less about me. I'll follow a lot of people because I want the information, but a lot of people follow me also. But yeah, Facebook, definitely more personal.
I also think it's very generational, that we have to look at it as an evolution, because I think LinkedIn is in such a completely different place than it was a year ago.
Right.
And generationally, younger generation tends to use Facebook much more, albeit all social. So I think we need to, it's not something that any of us should give an answer to now that will be set in stone for a year from now. It's something that is evolving, and everybody has to monitor it.
Well, I think they said the median age on Facebook, from when I first got on, you and I were talking about this, shifted by 10 years. I mean, I think the median age, 20 now?
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, I'm the median age, I think, now. I'm 45, 46, so I think I'm the median age for Facebook now, which, I mean, it was, 18, I think, when I first jumped on there.
Right. The LinkedIn and Facebook are on a par as far as median age now.
Well, I think they've actually, what I read was that with Facebook, it's now young, or the reason the median age is maybe our age, I would think, is that I wish I was still in my 40s, but I would say that it's very young, but what they're saying is it's very old. A lot of retired people have the time to do it, but business people, just as we're saying,
right,
are using maybe LinkedIn or working and not spending their time doing that. So actually, the demographic right now for Facebook is not that it's a huge aggregate of our age, it's that it's mainly old or young.
Got it.
That's the spread.
Okay.
If you look at the spread.
So since we're kind of a little bit over the time, we've gotten a number of questions, some of which we've actually already covered. I wanted to get a recap from all of you in terms of, a few points that you feel are sort of the key points that people need to take away. We've covered a lot of different areas, and again, I'll remind people at the end of this event, we're going to have the survey that I ask you to fill out so we can plan better for 2012. But as companies head into 2012, give some thoughts about what are the key things that they need to think about, and we'll start with the gentleman and close with the ladies this time. Mark, you first, and then we'll go around the table.
I'll use two words. Relationships, number one, have to be there. But differentiation has been toyed with on and off throughout this discussion. Differentiating your company, your product, your service doesn't mean anything unless it has an audience in the government. So you can differentiate until you die. You can differentiate or die. But it's got to resonate with a core audience, and preferably one that is funded.
Right. Brad?
I would just say either be in the government space or be out. Segment your market and go get it.
It's a great market. Don't be discouraged by some of the hard knocks that we've talked about here. We're spreading around $100 billion, so there's plenty in it for everybody. Come get your piece, but be realistic about expectations. It takes some time.
Absolutely. I mean, and on the the topic of relationships, which is obviously the key, to doing anything in the government sector. For those folks that still think, obviously live in the dark ages, that it's important to know everyone or think that you know everyone. And Mark and I talk about this, and he taught me this years ago. It's no longer about who or what you know. It really is who knows you and what they think of you, more than anything else. And that's the way you get ahead in this business.
Yeah. And so we'll go around to the ladies with Gloria and Hilary. Hilary, you want to go, and then Gloria?
Yeah, everybody's pretty much said the things that I would say. What I would say most importantly is, that hasn't been said, because I agree with relationships and differentiation and all the points, is be real. Like I've said many times before, use your customer testimonials. Don't use those words that could be anybody's solutions and quality people and IT solutions. Use things that are real source. Somebody else has said about you. So the new term I was just bringing to the table, we didn't talk much about, is this third-party endorsement.
Yeah.
Whatever has been a ranking, an analyst ranking of your company, a customer saying about your company, somebody that isn't internal, it has just far more power.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Gloria?
Know your niche, know your market, build strong teams and relationships.
That's great. Well, let me thank you all again. And Jimmy, I'm sorry.
I'll work from the West Coast.
Go ahead, Jimmy.
Hey, Mike, can I chime in and just say my final word for everyone listening?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Thanks. This is Jimmy Baker. Hey, study the IT budget, know where the new money is in your account that Congress has approved, and chase it.
Good. I would say, I think one of the things that we've heard over and over again, organization and preparation is so key. You have to not only know who you are or who your customer is, you have to know who you are. And I think so many people get into this space thinking that they're going to do all things, be all things to all people. They go into the customer thinking that they're just going to sell them on some magic kind of beanstalk theory. And it never pans out. And the reason why is that this is an opportunity. There's a huge amount of opportunity, but the opportunity is really only there if you take the time and you prepare yourself for it. And some people need help to do that, and I'm glad that all of you have taken the time to try to, I think, focus. I think a lot of the companies out there that maybe don't have that understanding of how this market is so much different than all the others. So again, I want to thank all of you for your time today, and I look forward to hopefully another great year and more of these in 2012. But that concludes today's presentation. If anyone has any follow-up questions, please use the website. And again, when we post the presentation in the next day or so, we're going to have everybody's contact information, and you'll be able to reach out to everybody directly. So thank you again. Appreciate it. Have a wonderful holiday, too.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.